Hello, and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 65. We've been doing this too long, boys. Do we have a Jim Jam and the Statman stat?
I'm going to keep it rather simple. So there's one Scottish footballer that won the Ballon d'Or, Dennis Law. So rest in peace to him, and thoughts go out to him and his family. But yeah, I didn't realise that Scotland only had one Ballon d'Or. I was surprised he had one. But I know people going on about what a fantastic footballer he actually was.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's a testament to how...
Especially with the condition of the pitches and everything like that.
See, he will always be a legend for me because he sent Man United down.
Yeah, even though he didn't want to. He still back-heeled him into the second division, did he? That was.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not anymore.
Brilliant.
So, all right.
He will forever be a legend.
Play the music. Hello, and welcome to episode 65. You have myself, Stretch, my good friend on camera, Jim Jam, and my very good friend off camera, Tin Ribs. How are we, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
All right,
Good. That's what we like to hear. Right, so football this week. Leeds have only just played, actually.
Yes.
How'd you feel?
It was great. We had the biggest team in Yorkshire versus the most successful team in Yorkshire, and the biggest team absolutely slapped them around. It was great.
It was quite convincing from what we saw. It wasn't a lot, like we were trying to sort the house out, but we watched a bit of it and it was fairly one-sided by the look of it.
Yeah, I mean, Sheffield did have a few moments, but
must have missed them.
That's
literally must have been a couple because we watched a bit. We kept up with the results today as we were going through, and quite pleased that Leeds won because I don't know nothing against Leeds. I don't mind them winning.
The top of the table, and it's close enough. I mean, your top. Sheffield United are on your heels a little bit.
We've kind of let
Burnley are there, but Burnley did well to get a 0-0 draw really out of Sunderland, which was on Friday night, I think it was.
Yeah.
Sunderland had 2 penalties in the last minutes of the game, and James Trafford saved both of them. Same player, put it in the same place, and I mean he smashed it hard as well into the bottom corner, and he made two good saves there. So Burnley probably very thankful to come away with that one with a point.
So Leeds are currently 1 point clear of Sheffield United in second, but you are 3 points clear of Burnley in third.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to struggle to go up? Do you think it's guaranteed? Do you think...
I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, but I still think we are strong favourites.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. So you're still very confident that you're going to get promoted? Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty confident that Leeds are going to go up.
I'm pretty confident as well. I think they've got a good squad. I think you've got enough players. A couple injuries, and you're probably still okay. You can still put players.
I think the thing is at the moment, playing very well.
Yeah,
and you're playing really good football, and it's going well. I can't see that ending anytime soon. I think they will keep it up. Sorry, I've just hit the mic with my phone
twice. Yeah. So inconsiderate.
Yeah, well, it happens, doesn't it? Cardiff 3, Swansea 0 yesterday. Millwall 0, Hull 1. Plymouth 0, QPR 1. Coventry 1, Bristol City 0. There wasn't many goals, was there, yesterday? I didn't look much at the Championship yesterday.
No, there was 7 for today.
Derby 0, Watford 2, Luton 0, Preston 0. At least Luton get a point for once. Jesus. They've been struggling, haven't they? They're 23rd. They're on for relegation again, and they were in the Premier League last season.
Scary.
And they were okay in the Premier League. They were like borderline beating Arsenal. They were borderline beating Liverpool. Borderline beating Spurs. It's not like they did badly in the Premier League.
No.
Like they were losing games that they potentially should have been winning. Then they go get relegated to the Championship, and they've won 7 in 27 games.
Yeah.
What's happened to Luton?
I don't think their squad was that good in the Premier League, but I think they were playing on. I think they were just playing with more passion and effort because they were in the Premier League, and because they went down, I think it just derailed them.
I mean, that's...
like Blackpool did all right in the Premier League. They gave it a go when they were up there, but once they got relegated, that was it. You know.
I mean, the way you're
You'd probably
playing,
say
if you
about
get relegated
Reading.
and then get slapped up next season, I'll expect it because you've been diabolical this season. So I'd expect you to get annihilated in the
I
Championship.
don't think we've
next
been
season.
diabolical all
I think
season. We
we've been
played some
horrendous.
good football. We just
just left
like
it on
we
the training
played
pitch.
like we played Man United and we were best team by far.
Yeah, I was gonna say-
that's
And
probably
3-1 was very unflattering.
I was just annihilating him because
Yeah.
he started.
With
that
no,
was
I was going to say the other night against Man United, when they were 1-0 up, with 80 minutes gone, every Derby fan was going, "Oh no, our record's going to stick." And then sure enough, Man United came straight back in there, and all the Derby fans were like, "Yeah, we're not going to be the
I
shittest
wouldn't
Premier
mind,
club
but
ever."
You can't even score for yourself. That was an own goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was our first goal from a corner this season.
It still counts as a goal from a corner, though.
I
even
know
though
it
you didn't
does.
Score it.
I know.
So
I said that,
it.
didn't I, in the chat saying,
Yeah,
I don't know if
still
it counts.
Yeah, it
So-
still counts.
After that, they actually put a stat on Talk Sport, and I can't remember the full details, which was why I'm not using it as a proper stat. But it was like the last. There's only ever been 3 times that a hat trick's been scored in that last 10 minutes.
It's probably all was against us or something.
No, the reason it was a remarkable stat was they were all Man United. Solskjaer got one, and someone else got one in like
Probably
the
Andy
80s
Cole.
or something. No, it was like the 80s or something.
No.
But the only time that's ever happened is like 3 times is Man United.
Wow.
Fergie time before Fergie existed.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Unfortunately for Darryl, Oxford 1, Blackburn 0. So, that was a bit salty. That was from over there by Tin Ribs.
I think
Leeds
it's just,
fan getting
I think it's
salty
just
over
because
there.
of the betting, probably.
Yeah, deserves it.
Yeah, he obviously didn't bet on Leeds this week. But yeah, they're still in the playoffs, aren't they? 5th. They are only a point clear of not being in the playoffs, though. Portsmouth 2, Middlesbrough 1. You'll be happy. Portsmouth getting a win.
Yeah, great.
Where are they now? Oh, they're not. 22nd. Yes, they're not exactly pulling up trees, are they?
No.
Sheffield United 2, Norwich 0. Kind of expected that, really, because Sheffield United are doing really well this season as well. West Brom and the absolute scumbags. Sorry, Stoke. Stoke 1, West Brom 1. Not a big fan of Stoke.
Yeah, Tony Mowbray's back in management after a cancer battle. So
Good.
he's back in management again. Back to West
good.
Brom.
Yeah, glad
It's
to hear
nice.
that.
And it's nice to see West Brom are still continuing on that trait of being the draw masters.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than losing, isn't it? Although I will say that I didn't feel like that the other day.
Did
No,
you not?
No.
Mm.
No, I really didn't. Right, so Premier League. Newcastle 1. Bournemouth 4. Cliver with a hat-trick. And Kirkez with a goal in the 96th minute. They scored 2 in the 92nd and 96th minute.
Yeah.
So a lot of late goals, aren't there, this season?
Yeah. Isak's run come to an end because he was on 8 games in a row.
He was.
He was going after Vardy's record, but that's
Right, now a game that
done.
properly pissed me off. Brentford 0, Liverpool 2. Darwin Núñez scoring in the 91st and 93rd minute
Yeah.
to win the game. What a load of shit.
This is why I keep saying this is probably why Liverpool are going to win the league, because even though they've not played that well, they're somehow grinding a
Do you know-
result out of it.
The amount of shit I got on one of our shorts for saying that Liverpool are at the top, they deserve to be at the top, but they've been below par. They've
Yeah.
not been a great team. Well, they're first, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean they've played well just because they're first. They've been getting results, but
Yeah.
they've not been playing great. They shouldn't have beaten Arsenal when we played them. That was lucky.
Yeah.
Scoring in the 91st and 93rd minute, that's lucky. There's a few games where they've been lucky against you guys, weren't they?
Mm.
They've been lucky in a few
Yeah.
of them. So, like, that run's not going to last all season. But I'm telling you now, whether or not by that point they'll be too far.
It just depends if
ahead for
anybody
anyone
else
to
is
catch
going to
them.
actually get the points to
Well, I'll
do it.
I'll tell you for nothing, we're not. Although City have just scored a 4th.
A 4th now. I saw it
Yeah.
was 3. So
Foden's got 2. Kovacic has got 1, and Doku has just scored in the 49th minute.
there you go.
Foden's got another 2 today, so
Not
he got
Haaland.
slagged off to high heaven, and then he scored like 5 in 3 on it or something stupid.
Not Haaland with his 9.5-year deal where he's just earned 82 pound.
82 pence
82 pence is it?
per second that guy's breathing.
So he's already earned like a tenner while we're talking about him.
You're basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Fantastic.
It's insanity, isn't it?
Yeah.
£2.2 million a month it is. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's like £260 million he's going to get paid by the time he finishes his Man City contract.
Absolutely
And that's probably doesn't even include any bonuses he's got.
I imagine it doesn't. Right, a really fun game over the weekend. In fact, I think it was today. Let's go. Yeah, it was today. Everton 3, Tottenham 2.
I know, yeah. How shit are Tottenham? The thing is, I was quite pissed off by that because, one, I don't mind taking the piss out of Tottenham for losing to shit teams. And now they're 15th. So they're right in that relegation fight. What has pissed me off is he'd give Everton points.
Yeah.
And those bastards have once again avoided financial fair play rules.
Yeah, but City will as well. City will get away with everything they've been fucking charged with because...
It says something if they've just given Haaland a 9.5 year
Yeah, I'm telling
deal.
you. They're screwing it left, right and centre, aren't they? Another fun game actually today. We had Man United 1, Brighton 3. Very good result.
And Rutter scored as well.
Rutter scored, Mitoma and Minter. And Fernandes got his trademark penalty.
Yeah.
Although fair play to him because he keeps scoring them. Nottingham Forest 3, Southampton 2. How'd you feel?
Disappointed that the game was over at half time. To be 3-0 down at half time, I'm guessing he must have said something at half time.
I mean, that takes
got a couple
some coming back
goals,
from,
but you know, I'm glad that Paul Onuachu got his goal now because obviously the longer it goes, it gets more and more difficult.
Yeah.
So the only thing is we've got to keep him.
Do you think you're going to keep him?
I don't know. Depends if anybody comes in. I don't think they want to sell him for the price that the clubs are offering because it's all based like Turkey, Besiktas and Fenerbahce, whoever over there are interested in him. But I think because we paid that much money for him, we don't want to make too big a loss.
Oh, God, no.
But hopefully now he's got a goal. Hopefully he can get a few more before the end of the season and get the magic 12 points or whatever we need.
I think 16, isn't it? Derby went down with 15, didn't they?
But now I think they went down with 11.
Did they go down with 11?
11 or 12.
Do you want to Google that for us?
I'm on it now.
Yeah.
I thought it was 15.
I
could be wrong.
I thought it was...
I'm usually wrong, so it wouldn't surprise me if I was wrong again. Yeah, you're a good way off that in a minute, aren't you? You've got 6.
I know.
Jesus. I bet you weren't expecting to be sat here after 22 games with 6 points.
Not at all. I don't think we've been anywhere near deserving of that many points. I think we should be on at least probably
15?
18 points, I reckon. And where would that put us in the league?
18 would put you 17th, one spot outside relegation.
That's where I think would probably be more deserved.
What is it?
So they accumulated the lowest league points total since the introduction of 3 points. Just 11 points.
I knew it was 11.
Points. Jesus.
That's why I
As
said
well,
12.
I thought it was 15.
They
You
also-
put me off then.
They also had the record for the fewest wins in the Premier League with just 1 victory in 38. The most the most defeats with 29. The fewest goals scored with 20. The most goals conceded in 38 game season at 89.
You've only conceded. I say only. You've only conceded 50.
We've got
The
9-0 to come yet.
However,
Hopefully against us.
apparently it doesn't give me a number here, but the latter record has since been broken by Sheffield United. So obviously Sheffield United in that season. If I can quickly find out how many they conceded.
Right. Anyway, the rest of the games from yesterday. Leicester 0, Fulham 2. Smith Rowe getting his goal.
Yeah.
I wonder who he could be useful for at the minute. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Oz. Jesus Christ. Have you seen Marino play football?
I think you should get behind your team and support them
Keep hitting
through.
boom on.
Get behind Arteta and his magic boys.
Right. Firstly, there's fuck all magic going on at the Emirates right now. Secondly, I'm not getting behind Arteta. I'll support the team when they're on, but Arteta is fucking clueless.
You know what's funny?
And I will clip this again, and I will put it up.
Yeah, but
just to piss Mitch off, because you fucking spy on us every week. I've seen you spying on us, and I'm okay with it. But Arteta is fucking useless.
You know what's funny, though? The amount of abuse you got for saying his shit. But if you go on 90% of football things at the moment, they're all saying how shit
They're all
Arteta
copying
is.
exactly what I've been saying for 3 years.
I've had the same on many things where I've said something isn't, and then now I get loads of abuse, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no.
Do you know the difference between the two of us now is? I've got proof that I've been saying it for a year and a half. Because I just say, go back.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the podcast. I've been saying it from the start.
Now, I think, because obviously it was last weekend, and we recorded before, so...
And what did I say? I said we
no,
got beat.
What did I say? I said about, because you got beat by Man United on penalties. You should have won that game before it even got there, especially when they're down to 10 men.
Yep, agree.
I mean, the ref was very generous and stuff like that.
I would agree.
It was because it shouldn't have been a penalty. So I think justice was served.
Definitely
it
wasn't a penalty, by the way.
Yeah,
Let's get that straight.
And I will say, as Finko, Kai Havertz is an out and out cheat in everything he does. He is just
in
a
everything
cheat.
He does.
Everything.
I'm not sure he cheats by putting his boots on.
He's stealing a living.
He's definitely stealing a living.
But he's just a cheat on the pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
obviously, I know you're not, because obviously he died for the penalty that he won because there was no VAR.
There's not a chance that was a penalty.
He was grabbed player by the neck.
Yeah.
And then against Villa, he's trying to claim that the ball hit his stomach.
Well, I think that should have been a goal anyway.
How do you think it was a goal at his hand?
Even Ollie Watkins literally stood there at the end and went, I'd be really annoyed if that was given against me.
Yeah, but why? I don't get why a player turns round and goes to celebrate when they blatantly know it's hit their hand. Because they know it's going to get disallowed.
They just played a game where they didn't have VAR. So in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I'll go away with that.
Yeah, you'd get away with that.
Right, we're going back to VAR. He's like, fuck, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So for me, again, he's pointing there going, yeah, you're just a cheat.
Okay, I'm going to quantify that by saying he's German. So, obviously.
I didn't go into them. But I mentioned it to you about David Raya and how awful he lost Arsenal the shootout.
Oh. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've been saying that for a while as well. He had 5 good games at the start of this season.
No, he blatantly lost the shootout because as the Man United players were running up, because I shared the clip with you, and they were
taking 2 steps towards the ball after he dived. So he was diving.
Then they hit in the other corner.
It went, run up, dive, kick. Run up, dive, kick. And it was that long in between us. He was flinging himself to the left or right.
Yeah.
And then they were he must have thought, if I dive really early, I'm going to put him off of that much. They'll miss hit it. Because I can't think of any other reason as to why you would behave like that as a goalkeeper.
I mean, at the time, I was watching the penalties and I didn't really think much of it. But it wasn't until I saw the behind the attacking player's view where it actually highlighted it and went, oh my days, he really did cost the FA Cup.
Raya's cost us the league last season, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what anybody says. You can have a go at me all you like. I'm not bothered. Raya cost us the league because he gave away, by my count, about 11 goals last season just by being shit. He started off this season. I actually started praising him for the first 5 games because he was brilliant.
Yeah, he was.
And now all of a sudden he's gone back to, Raya.
You haven't got past the 4th round since he's won the FA Cup.
No. 4th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 3rd.
Yeah.
That is abysmal for a team of Arsenal stature. Abysmal. But what have I been saying since day one on the podcast? Or been saying to you for years? Arteta cannot manage a knockout competition. He just can't do it. He's not capable. He's not a manager.
You think he was just a fluke the first year?
He's either a coach or an assistant manager. He is not a manager.
Did he just fluke the first year?
No, he had Emery's team.
Yeah.
That was Unai Emery's side that had been set up.
He did have to play every single round, though, because he got appointed in December, didn't he, Arteta? So he play.
Played the semi and the final, as far as I'm aware.
No, he got appointed in December, so he would have done from the 3rd round onwards. He did do every round. I looked it up. I had to look it up just to see what round he took over.
But
and when it was January, when it was December, I was like, well, he definitely did the entire competition.
The players that he's brought in, right? Party at right back. Okay, so I believe it is 9 games now he's played right back. Do you know how many of them 9 we've won?
None.
1.
None.
Okay.
Right.
Is that because he's a CDM?
That doesn't mean he's shocking. It means he's in the wrong position.
Well, he's a CDM.
Yeah. But instead, we had Declan Rice as a CDM. So
That's okay, because I think Declan Rice is a good CDM.
Right, okay. So I'll go with this. So we had our CDM as a right back, so he could play CDM, so we could squeeze Marino into the team.
Don't worry. You're buying Super Mendy, apparently.
Yeah, who is what?
Not
Fucking
a striker.
Spanish. Another mate of Arteta.
And not a striker.
Brilliant. Another of Arteta's fucking bum boys that's going to come along and be absolutely shocking.
I do have a question for you, though. How many of today's goals are you going to say Raya could have stopped?
Today's goals?
Sorry, yesterday's.
I've got to try and remember what they were like now. I can't remember what they were like. I don't know whether he... I think the first one I remember thinking he got no chance with.
The second one's Ollie Watkins roofing it from about 5 yards out.
Yeah, isn't that when he was absolutely rooted to his line?
No, he actually does make a move to the ball and try and raise his hand.
I still think he's shit.
From 5 yards out,
His
absolutely
kicking's abysmal. His passing's abysmal. I don't like him. I'd rather have Ramsdale back. And I've said that from the start. Timber and Gabriel at centre-back. I'm not quite sure why Saliba wasn't in. I don't know if he was suspended or what. But he wasn't playing. Lewis Skelly, I love Lewis Skelly. I think he's good. Odegaard obviously goes without saying. We're a one-man team. Without Odegaard, we're not going to win anyway. Martinelli on the right, Trossard on the left, and Havertz up front. I have an issue with Havertz being up front because he's not a striker and I don't think he's good enough. Trossard I like anyway. I've always liked Trossard. Martinelli I like, but I think he's being held back by some of Arteta's tactics, if I'm honest, because he was a better player before Arteta took over. Because he was doing more, whereas now he seems to be stuck in doing the same thing over and over. So all these people crying out, Arsenal need a striker, Arsenal need a... No, we need to start by getting a new manager because the one we've got is not good enough. So and he will never be good enough.
Fully supportive of the training shirt that they're wearing before every game at the moment, it seems like, as well.
That weird homage to
We love
Jesus. I just think it's strange. He hasn't died. He's torn his crew shirt. It's weird for me. I think it's strange. It's not a leg break, like some of my bad leg breaks, or like what Ericsson went through, and they're all wearing supportive shirts, and I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
He's torn his crew shirt. How many players tear the crew shirt and then the rest of the squad come out like that?
Not very often, is it?
Saliba's out from muscle injury, by the way.
His muscles, probably his brain.
Really love Jesus. I mean Jesus.
I mean, it's a mate of Arteta, innit? So it's probably Arteta's idea. He feels sad because his friend can't play anymore. It's just, I mean, Arsenal are just...
I'm just disappointed that Agent Zinchenko's not starting at the moment.
I'm waiting for that. Right, I'm not going to lie. I'm waiting for Zinchenko to start, starting matches. And game over.
Left back.
Game over when that happens.
I think that he's playing the right move, playing Lewis Skelly, though. I think he's... I
would agree. I think Lewis Skelly's been doing really well. I think he's a fantastic talent. I think Nwaneri needs more minutes. Certainly, I'd play Nwaneri over Marino every fucking day of the week and twice on a Sunday.
Well, you wouldn't even play Marino at all.
I wouldn't even play him at training. I'd tell him to stay at home. I'd say just stay. I just don't bother because you're never going to get into the team. You're not nearly good enough. I could send you to Southampton, who have 6 points in 22 games. They would fucking send you home and all.
On the upside, you're going to get the earliest Tottenham day ever.
Yeah, I mean, the borderline... I mean, if United are in a relegation fight, which I think is, pushing it.
A bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
I think fucking Spurs actually are. Because they're about 6 points, is it, above the drop now?
They keep getting injuries as well.
4.
It could be 8, but I know it's not a fucking lot. Let's get there.
Because
they're on 24.
It's 8. They're 4 ahead of Everton.
That's not a lot, 8 points.
And Everton are only 4 above the drop line.
And Ipswich, okay, they're getting smashed up today, but they're playing City.
You say 8 points isn't a lot. We've played 20 games and haven't got 8 points.
It's not a lot for most teams. It's not
For your average team, it's not many.
I'll take that
For
back.
the Saints, it's...
City, by the way, are now 6-0 up.
Wow.
Haaland's earned his 2.2 million this month by scoring a goal, finally.
Yeah.
In the 57th minute.
I still worry.
It's
If
that good old man TBD
yeah.
that scored the 6th.
What if
John McAtee.
Oh, it's just come up.
Yeah.
Jason McAtee.
Yeah.
Jason? No.
Yeah. What happens if, like I said, what if Man City now go on their run like they do
They're
every
going to
year
go on their run now.
and they win
'Cause they're
every
clearly-
game
they're
between
set
now
now.
and the end of the season? It wouldn't
I
surprise you
think-
if they.
I think the last couple of results have really kick-started City again. Certainly Foden, because he was getting a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been...
And he has been absolutely superb over the last few games. I can see City going the same way, you know. I can see them going from now to the end of the season unbeaten. Can you?
Every chance of it. And if they beat Arsenal and they beat Liverpool,
Do you know why? Because they've got a manager in charge.
yeah. So you
He
think
may
to
be a
it
money
now.
manager, and he may not be a man manager, but do you know what? He's a manager.
Can they make up 12 points?
City.
Yeah.
Of course they can, because they made up 8 on Arsenal, and that was from February.
Yeah. It just makes you think, are Liverpool going to drop?
I mean, granted, we've got Postman Pat.
Are
in
Liverpool
fucking
going to
charge of
drop
us, but
12 points? I mean, if they win the game in hand, it's 15 points.
Liverpool are...
It's still a challenge, isn't it? For City, but it wouldn't surprise me that they're not up for that challenge.
I mean, it is, but City are capable.
Mm.
City are capable of going from now to the end of the season unbeaten. And Liverpool are capable of throwing it away. Because, and this, do you know what? This really, and I think I have said this on the podcast before, but this really bugs me about Liverpool and Arsenal, is when Arsenal are top at Christmas and don't win the league, we're bottle job FC. But when Liverpool are top and throw it away, nobody says a fucking word about it. Why? Why are Liverpool not bottlers? Because they've bottled loads of shit.
Yeah, but they're always the victim, so we can't say things because it's victimisation.
Is it like the alphabet community? There's certain things you just can't say.
Yeah.
You're just not allowed because
You'll
it's
hurt their
taboo.
feelings.
You don't want to hurt their feelings. They might steal
Can't
your
hurt their
hubcaps.
feelings. Steal your hubcaps. Good luck. I've got alloys. As was
Mate, they'll fucking
most
take them
people
off quick as
nowadays.
well.
I think most cars have got alloys these days.
Yeah,
That's
they
probably
have.
because you go through Liverpool. If we just stop them nicking them. I think. I just think it's a little bit weird that
Liverpool
we don't
are far
slag
more bottle
Liverpool
jobs
off.
than Arsenal.
Yeah.
So why don't we slag them off the same way we do every other team?
Because it's blinkered bollocks. It's like I keep pointed out. They keep going on about how fucking... Oh, Klopp's the best manager Liverpool have ever had. Oh, we'll just forget Bob Paisley. We'll just, casually forget him. And it's like, in the time that he was at Liverpool, Man United are going through the worst period of their history, and yet got more trophies than Liverpool did. How's that work? But, meanwhile, Klopp is better than Bill Shankly. Okay. So, Paisley and Shankly, who genuinely were some of the greatest managers... Sorry, verbal. I hated saying that.
Yeah.
Some of the best managers we've ever seen.
He actually had a fur ball. I've seen him licking under his arms.
So, we had these really good managers who genuinely brought Liverpool through some of the best periods of their time, being compared to Klopp, who managed very little in a long period of time, and they're comparing them to this. It's mind-blowing. And like I say, they stand there and go, oh, this is our most successful, we're the best manager ever, bro. Oh, Man United are having a shit time, aren't they? But they've won more trophies than you.
This is what I was talking to a lot of Arsenal fans about online, because they're telling me how shit Ten Hag is and this, that and the other. I'm like, you realise he's won 2 trophies in the last 2 years and Arteta's won nothing. In fact, he hasn't even got past the 3rd round of the FA Cup in the last 2 years. What exactly are we fucking celebrating? You're celebrating the fall of Ten Hag, who, by the way, has won 2 trophies. How far's he fallen? Exactly.
Right, so
he's won trophies.
Yes, but the point is, people have this delusion of what success is. Oh, but we're going to Europe, we're in the top 6. Yes, and in 15 years' time, nobody's going to give a shit. Because as we've pointed out before on here, if you look back, mention any team 15 years ago, They couldn't tell you what position they finished in the league unless they had a really shit league that year. They couldn't tell you anything other than what's been won.
Yeah, because people
Because
will
that's what
only
everybody
remember
knows.
trophies.
I can tell you that Arsenal won the double in 1993.
Yeah.
And I can tell you who we beat in the final.
Yeah.
I can tell you fuck all else about that season. Nothing, because I don't remember any of it. I just remember the fact that we won the double against Sheffield Wednesday in both cup competitions. I don't know who won the league. I don't know who came second in the league. I actually do know who won the league, that's a lie. But I don't know who won the European Cup that year. Or the Cup Winners' Cup as it was that year. I haven't got a clue. Not a clue. But I know we won 2 trophies. I don't even know where we finished in the league. Could be fucking 8th. I haven't got a clue. Can't remember. But I do remember we won 2 trophies. And that's all United are going to remember in 10 years from now. They'll go, oh, Ten Hag. Yeah, whatever happened to it? Oh, he won 2 trophies. He won as the League Cup and he won as the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your fans were fucking slagging him to high heaven. Meanwhile, you were all swimming around the stadium watching you every week because it was fucking pissing through.
Yeah. So
Even Cities has been leaking, although in saying that, I went past Cities because my mum lives up there not long ago, and they've taken half the fucking stadium out at the one end. I think they're trying to repair their issues, whereas United still haven't done anything with theirs.
No, they're not going to bother. But, for example, going on the whole what we remember, obviously this is before us, but if I said 1970-71 FA Cup winners, who was it, Stretch? 1971 FA Cup winner?
I've got a feeling I don't want to know the answer.
You do want to know.
Oh, yeah, they won the other one.
1971. Who won the FA Cup?
Was that us?
Yeah.
Because Alan Sunderland scored the winner.
Who won the league that year? You did.
I didn't remember that we won the league in 71.
Yeah, you won the first division and the FA Cup. However,
that was before my time, though. To be fair.
No, agreed. But in 72, Leeds won the FA Cup. I know that because the replication. My favourite football shirt we've ever produced is a replication of that FA Cup winning shirt. Couldn't tell you where we finished in the league. I bet you couldn't tell me where Arsenal finished in the league.
What, in 72? Not a chance.
There you go.
I couldn't tell you where Southampton finished in the league in 1976.
No, but
I know we weren't in the top division.
No, but my point is, in 72,
we won the FA Cup.
I know we weren't in the top division.
No, but my point
is... We didn't, because we were the underdogs against Man United.
The point is, me and Stretch weren't alive in those years, but I knew that Leeds won the FA Cup that year, because success is remembered with trophies.
Yeah.
So it's all good standing there going, oh yeah, Tottenham are in the big 6, right? A big 6, we're the big 6, because we've been in the top 6 for the last 10 years and won fuck all else. Congratulations.
They've won a League Cup, haven't they, in 2008? And that was nearly...
over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
exactly my point. So in the last 10 years, they've won fuck all, but they're big 6. What's being big 6 matter if you're winning nothing? Because in 20 years' time, no one's going to give a shit.
No, no one cares.
Because all they're going to do is stand there going, ha, you ain't won shit in fucking 30 years. Ah, you're wank.
Well, there we go.
Oh, yeah, but we finished second fucking 92 times. Doesn't matter, because you've won fuck all. You've achieved nothing. Your cabinet's still empty. You got no fucking trophies.
Right.
2003, where did you finish in the league?
Somewhere near the bottom.
Probably second, but that's only because for a long time we were either first
What
or
happened in
second.
2003?
We got fucking relegated.
You got relegated. What do you mean, what happened in 2003?
What did you win in 2003?
The FA...
You won the FA Cup because you beat Southampton in the FA Cup.
Yeah, the FA Cup in 2003.
Because I remember...
The league in 2004, the FA Cup in 2005.
I remember you winning the FA Cup in 2003 because I thought for periods of game we should have probably...
No, you
got
should.
Back into that game.
You should have done better in that game.
And
there's no doubt about it. And Henri was
I don't know where I don't know where we finished in the league that year, but I remember the fact that we got to an FA Cup final. I know we didn't win it, but I still remember the fact that we got to a final.
Because that's what people remember.
Yeah.
I think we're going to bring the first part to a close because we've been rambling a bit. And then we shall see you lovely people in part 2. Hello and welcome back from the break. We've just had a bit of a chill there and watched some of the highlights.
Yeah.
And I will say, before we get into some of the others, the Leeds game today they showed the highlights, and was it your first goal?
Yeah, first goal.
The first goal Leeds scored, they commented that the commentator said, "Oh, that was a bit of a keeper error." That is the most harsh commentary I've ever heard in my life.
I know.
Because he sprints off his line and he falls down to his right-hand side at an attacker's feet.
Yeah.
Stops the ball.
Knocks the ball away from him, and it just happens to go to a Leeds player.
And it's not even that far away from him. It's not
the
like
actual stop where he pushes the ball away from your attacker.
Fantastic save.
Is a brilliant save. It then happens to go to a Leeds player who then calmly steps to the side and puts it in. How is that a keeper error? That's so bad.
If that fell to a Sheffield Wednesday player and he booted it out,
That'd
it's a
have been a
good
great
save.
save.
Yeah.
That is harsh.
But
that harsh.
But the reason I showed you that one, and I do think it's harsh, because the thing
really
is,
harsh.
even with him, because it's essentially a block. He hasn't tried to catch it. He's not come out to claim it. He's come out with a block. And even the blocks only fell, about 2-3 feet from him. Now, on a normal day, you make your block, you scramble, you're on top of it, you've got it. He's just unfortunate that Solomon is literally an inch away from him. So as soon as he made that block, it just fell to Solomon. It's just unfortunate. And to the point where Solomon's sidestep narrowly misses his hand as he tries to recover. So it's not like he dropped it, left it out.
Fantastic.
It's a really good save.
The reason that came as such a conversation for us, I'll let you take this one, but the reason basically that Tinrib said, you need to look at this first Leeds goal, because the commentator was a bit harsh on the goalkeeper. Bit harsh, fucking hell. He was really harsh on the goalkeeper because it was a cracking save. And the reason we got there was because...
Well, we watched the Man United highlights, and there'd been a lot of thing about Onana getting stick, and I'm quite happy to give him a lot of stick, because I think he's very overrated. And as we watched the first goal, I was like, nope, couldn't do fuck all. Fuck all he could have done about that. He gets his hands to it, but he is coming across. It's hit it.
That's tough.
He's unfortunate. He's
there if you make them saves. I say they're more luck than
you've thrown yourself in the direction, and it's just happened to be in that direction where you hit it. Yeah. So the first one, I won't blame him in any way. He was unlucky. It was a good goal. The second one, same goal, and I literally, as I said, I don't understand where the stick for Onana's coming from.
I heard the commentator go, that was a dreadful mistake by Onana.
And it was like, I literally defended the bloke, and within
Curse of the
third of a second, a cross has been whipped in, and he's come out.
Not at an incredible pace,
okay,
by
I'm
the
going
way.
to remove the word whipped, because it wasn't whipped.
That sort of...
A cross was
played across. Yeah, we'll go with played across.
He's come out to gather it, and then dropped it, like literally slid it out of his hands straight to the feet of Rutter. It's just horrendous. That's a mistake. That is a massive mistake. What Beale did was a great save, which was unfortunate. And yet the commentators just completely thrown him under the bus. Yeah, Onana, the guy who last season made 2 or 3 really good saves, even I went, wow. But when they did the saves of the season, they weren't in there, and they put very mundane saves in for Onana and some terrible technique saves by Alisson, just because of the club, and they had to put them in there, despite the fact that they weren't that good. It's just bias, and it's like I was saying to you, you guys had a thing about bias commentary, and you don't mind it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. When it's from fans, not when it's from commentators.
Yeah, but it's like today, I'm trying to remember the Muppet's name, but he's on about Leeds
Jim Jam.
He's on about a Leeds handball, and it's like, but it was a Sheffield Wednesday player who handled it. And it's like they can't even get the facts right. It's like Michael Owen. Oh, I've been watching Meslier in the youth of Leeds. That's interesting because he was never there. It's just, if you're going to say comments, it's just... But these people are paid excessive amounts of money to be a pundit, and they can't even get things right.
I'm not sure where that's from. There was a lot of comments on Facebook yesterday about Kai Havertz's non-handball, which was clearly a handball. And it just... I have to take a step back sometimes and just think, what are these people on? Like, what are they watching?
Yeah, but these are the people.
I'm an Arsenal fan, okay, and I consider myself to be quite a biased Arsenal fan. But even I can look at certain situations and go, "Well, it wasn't a penalty. It wasn't a goal. It was a handball.
Yeah.
Like the penalty that he got.
Okay.
I can look at that and go, it definitely 100% was nowhere near a penalty." Not even close.
Would you be happy if that was actually a goal, though? Like,
100%. I would take it.
Like,
but
because
the fact that it's been disallowed, I'm then not going to go, that should have been a goal.
No, but, like, would you want goals like that to be given?
No.
Do you think it was...
Well, it depends. It depends. Now, if you're going to ask me, if we remove VAR and we conceded a goal like that, I'd accept it.
Yeah.
Because mistakes happen. But if you're asking me, will I accept goals like that being given with VAR? Not a chance. Because we should be better than that.
No, if they changed the rule to accidental handball
yes,
and
I was going to say,
I
because
get the fact that they got that particular
who
call
was it
right.
who literally, he fell over him because he rolled over and the ball touched his hand and it went in. They ruled the goal.
That was ridiculous.
What,
I can't remember who it was, but I remember it happened.
So I remember we had the conversation.
Stupid.
Wasn't it like Garnacho or something did one of them? He was kind of...
Possibly.
He was sliding in.
And it's because it
hit him, bounced up and hit him after.
That's not a handball.
And it's not. And it annoys me because anywhere else in the field, it's not given because it's an accidental handball.
Yeah.
But because it goes in, they immediately rule it out. I just think it's a little bit extreme. Oh, the ball hit his hand. Doesn't matter whether it's intentional. You know, if he might have been cupping his bollocks as the ball's been driven in. It's why.
I want to know where your head was during that comment then. Because he started with, it's like you're going to grab your ball and then dribble.
No, if
I was just wondering
drill.
where
I said drill.
You said dribble initially.
So if someone smashes a ball towards goal and you just happen to like think, shit, I'm going to have no kids for the rest of my life, and do that, and then it hits your hand.
Yeah, handball.
It's handball. But how's that fair?
No, it's ridiculous.
It's inside your silhouette. You haven't moved to block the ball or anything. It's just... I think that rule just needs looking at.
It's like the whole, it's not handball, like if the player goes to stop the ball with his hand and because it takes a slight deflection off a knee just before and it hits his hand,
if it hits
it's not a
and
penalty.
then hits your hand, it's not a handball.
Even though they went to stop it with her hand.
Remember,
deliberately.
they changed that halfway through the season. Because
I'm not sure what rule is what anymore because they changed
the rule,
so much.
The handball rule was in during the Leeds' first ever Premier League game back after we got back out of the Championship. And in Liverpool, we're getting quite scared because we went to Anfield and we're actually doing a bit of a number on them. And late in the game, the ball hits Robin Koch on the leg, comes up, hits his hand, penalty.
That name doesn't get any better, by the way.
Within half the season, they've realised that this rule is a bit unfair and changed it. Why? You've already ran half the season. I keep going to say 6 months. But you've already ran 3 months, half the season with that rule. Yeah. So now, by changing the rule mid-season, you've played half on one set of rules and half on another set. It's not fair. Because then all of a sudden, our 4-3 loss to Liverpool, where we pretty much gave them a damn good match. We're the Championship champions, playing the Premier League champions, and we were actually competitive with them. Now, they don't have that penalty. I think we were actually 3-2 up at the time. The game changes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And it's wrong that something they benefited from earlier in the season, they got away with later on in the season. Now, I'm all for, if your hand's there and the ball hits your leg and then hits your hand and there's not much you could have done about it, then fair enough.
Yeah, but
I think if you make a deliberate play for the ball,
right,
like the Villa player did against us, and it was like, it's not a penalty because it's hit his leg first. It took the slightest nick off his leg, which then makes it not, even though he stuck his hand out, and it was like, my word, he deliberately handled it.
I've got a question.
I thought the rule was if it deflects onto your hand,
I've
you're
got
still
a
moving
question for you both. Is it because, and I will justify my question.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it because nobody trusts referees anymore? Now, the reason I say that is, one, because we've brought VAR in, and the reason for that because there was too many fucking incorrect decisions, and number two, they've taken any form of conscious decision away from the game. There's no more accidental handball. There's no more potential this or potential that. It's all just, they're trying to get it as black and white as possible. Are we not trusting these human beings that we put in charge of fucking football games or what?
They clearly don't.
Let them use what they've got. VAR has already, for me, stopped referees refereeing. They will not give a decision, wait for VAR, and we've been through this before, and VAR will give the decision, assuming the ref's already done that on the field. And he's like, he probably hasn't. He's waiting for you. But you think he's already made the decision, therefore you go with it. Well, that's not what it was, and that's why I think they're getting a lot of decisions wrong. They just don't trust refs anymore.
No.
I wouldn't even say I
Do you
trusted
think
before. I mean,
the reffing was okay in the FA Cup for your game because there was a lot of mistakes obviously made?
Yeah, but I'm
Are
okay
you
with
okay
mistakes.
with it?
Yeah, I'd rather.
I'm
have
going to
them.
word it like
Yeah, but
this.
do you know why there's so many mistakes? Don't you? Because they're so used to having VAR that they can make mistake after mistake after mistake because it's meant to get corrected by Stockley Park or Stockley Park, fucking Shockley or whatever the fucking hell they want to call it. They're meant to be corrected there, and they're not most of the time. So they go into the FA Cup, and I think they still go in with the mindset of, "I'll just send it somewhere else." And then it happens, and they're like, "Oh fuck, I can't."
I've got to make that decision.
I forgot about
now.
that. Yeah, that now stands. Oh well.
But what I don't get as well is how the referees are still complaining. Oh, players are crowding round and stuff like that. It's not difficult. Book them all.
Pretty simple, isn't it,
Yeah.
really?
So
We've been saying it
It's
for
pretty
ages, and
simple.
they say, "Oh, we're going to do this. We're going
Yeah, but
to
irrelevant
book
to
them
what-
if you do that," and they
so
don't do it.
going
Yeah,
back to
but
what
it's
you
like booking for kicking the ball. Sorry, Tim Reeves. It's like booking for kicking the ball away. They don't do that half the time. There's only certain people that are getting booked for kicking the ball away.
Yeah.
Not always us now, by the way. There are other teams that are getting booked for it, but it's not
It
everybody.
doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. I think you can kick the ball away now.
right.
Go on,
Going
sorry.
back to your original point. No, I don't think it's got anything to do with that because you watched Dermot on his soapbox. I mean, who gives this guy a platform? Seriously,
Sky.
TalkSport, Sky. They give this guy a platform, and he just can't make a decision. He can't make a decision for himself. He's always very, oh well, let me see how I can deflect and not answer this question and I'm going to make two identical moments that I'm going to like disagree, and then they're going to be completely identical in everything that happens, but I'm going to give two different decisions. He's completely and totally inept. He was inept as a referee, and he's inept as a pundit, and he's definitely inept as an analyst. So the point is, no, whether you got VAR or not, I don't think it's got anything to do with decision making, because that guy couldn't make a fucking decision on what he wants for his fucking dinner, because he's absolutely inept. He is
I don't like
completely
agreeing with him.
fucking. Mate, he just needs.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
He just needs putting out to pasture, because when you're asking the
Putting
guy
out to pasture.
for his fucking
hell.
opinion on something, and the guy can't give you an opinion.
You know who we need to bring in? Mark Halsey. Because he actually says how it is when he eventually comes out, when they've made a big mistake.
I like Mike Dean.
He comes
I
out
like
and says
listening
it.
to Mike Dean.
What, on Soccer Saturday when he
I don't
comes
listen
out?
to him on Soccer Saturday because
Oh,
the others wind me up. But
Yeah, but
I've heard
he's
him,
there
like,
on Soccer Saturday
podcasts
doing
and
it.
stuff. He's done a lot of
Yeah,
podcasts,
but
and I like what he's got to say.
if you've got a referee, an official, any form of official, who is willing to make a decision, then the problem you've got is they get a lot of abuse. We're all human and we make mistakes. But, as a rule, they get a lot of abuse. Now,
Yeah.
one of the big reasons that they do get abuse is because they can't be held accountable. Now, let's be honest, right? If someone makes a mistake and they get reprimanded for it, you sort of go, okay, it's been reprimanded, we'll leave it. If it's a case of your team just got screwed over, nothing happens, and that person continues, because it can be female, that's not, that referee goes and continues to be incompetent, and continues to fuck up, and continues to get it wrong, but nothing ever happens. He gets called out by managers, the manager gets fined, but nothing happens. No wonder they're getting abuse, because there's nothing to do. Nothing can be done against them. There's no sort of disciplinary. There's no sort of accountancy for referees at all. So no wonder we're in the position we are, because they're not forced to make educated decisions, not forced to make any sort of judgment, because they haven't got to, because it doesn't matter if they get it right, it doesn't matter if they get it wrong. And the second you say something against them, oh, well, you're in wrong. It's a bit like the left. These fucking lunatics where, as long as you're saying that, that's fine. But the second you say, oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's wrong, that is. Oh, we're the victims.
I mean,
And they are.
I mean, the managers' interviews at the end of games
They're
now
getting
are
boring.
pretty boring because they can't
you know
say what they
as
feel.
much as you don't like
They're all the
Ange,
same.
and sometimes Ange does say something, I'm like, Jesus Christ, mate, you're a fucking idiot. But he's right. I'm not going to say what I want to say, because at the end of the day, the second I say something, the PGM are going to moan, and then the FA are going to find me. Because they are completely and totally immune to any form of criticism.
wasn't Mourinho the first one to come out and do that?
Yeah, and look what happened to it.
He just come out and he went, I can't say what I want to say because I know I'll get fined.
Yeah.
That's already told you what his interview was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already knew at that point he was
So
going
the
to
problem
slag the
you- the
referee
problem
or the
you've got
officials
is-
off.
Whether it's VAR or a ref on the pitch, there's not enough training. I genuinely don't think there is enough competency in their training to allow them to make those decisions. and they're all too busy.
I just think they're not trusted for me.
I wouldn't trust. Well, that's the point. What's the point trusting them? Because the second they do
Yeah, but
something
wouldn't
wrong,
they be better without the VAR anyway? Because they wouldn't have got into this lazy habit that they're in now.
but everybody wanted that kind of thing. Everybody wanted more accurate refereeing.
I really didn't want VAR in, even from the start.
But
You know
everybody,
yourselves,
but everybody wanted
Mm.
more accurate refereeing.
Yeah, we're not getting it though. VAR doesn't give you more accurate refereeing. I bet we're still getting just as many bad decisions now as we were getting before.
No, they've
I
actually
think we're getting
no,
more.
They've actually statistically proven that they're getting more decisions right. The big problem you've got is how long it takes to get it right.
I'm not sure if I believe the stats on that. I think we're still getting a ridiculous amount wrong, considering we're using video replays at the time of the
When
event.
are we kicking in with this assisted goal line technology, AI technology, for offsides? When's that happening? Because they mentioned
It can't be till next year, or was it?
I thought it was meant to be a thing this season.
That's what
It
I
just
mean.
hasn't
Yeah.
happened.
but it hasn't happened.
Or it's in play and nobody knows about it because it's obviously not good enough.
Well, it was good
It
enough
must
for the
be
World
good
Cup.
enough.
It
I
was
think they
fantastic, the
used
bloody
World
it
Cup.
World
in the
in
World Cup.
La Liga as well.
yeah,
I
they're
think.
using it in the league. I think they use it in the Bundesliga.
I don't know is the short answer. I
but this is
thought
my
it was
point.
meant to be
Perhaps
this season.
perhaps they're scared that they can't. If they use that technology, then they can't make the errors that they're making to favour whichever team they want to win.
Oh, so you're saying there's corruption
Very,
now?
very cynical view you've
Yeah.
got there.
Fucking absolutely, it is because
Um,
it's true.
Just want to put a
Very
disclaimer out there for the
cynical view,
FA. Some of us don't believe you are corrupt, but if you are corrupt, can you please make sure Southampton don't get to 11 points? Thank you. Sorry.
They're doing a good job of it this year so
Does
far.
anybody need help stopping a Southampton get to 11 points? Fucking Jesus Christ.
Right now,
difference
every
is
Derby
Wolves-
fan's going, I agree with Tim Williams.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like Wolves obviously were harshly treated last year, but the thing is, it didn't cost them loads of points. So far this season, we've probably lost a good 10, 12 points just because of
Being shit.
incompetent refereeing and VAR.
Fucking hell. Sorry, that was funny.
We've probably only been shit for half the games.
Shit. Oh,
We've been screwed over for 5. Shit for 10, screwed over for 5, and then been unlucky for
and then you've won
3, and we've won 1 and drawn 3.
Who did you beat?
Everton.
Shock.
And they're still ahead of him.
They still beat Spurs 3-2. Jesus.
How shit are Everton? We beat them.
With Dominic Schoolgirl Lewin
Yeah.
actually scoring
Yeah.
a goal finally.
Oh, yeah.
Of course it was against
Oh.
Tottenham. It was going to be against Spurs. Well, if it's going to be against
I think now
anybody-
they got Moyes in charge, they'll be all right.
You know what? I honestly don't know what would be worse. The fact that we've lost 9-0 2 seasons in a row or going down with less than 11 points. I
mean,
don't know
you could
what's
be going down
worse.
with 6 points at this rate, and that will never be beaten. That record will be yours until the end of time.
Unless somebody is really,
Like,
really
they
rubbish and
could-
don't win.
They could reduce the Premier League to 10 teams, and I don't think a team would get relegated with 6 points.
They could reduce the league to about 5 games and people and get more than 6.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? I mean, it's. I can't believe how badly it's gone wrong for Southampton this season. Genuinely. I thought you'd struggle.
I said
I
we
didn't
weren't
think
ready.
you'd find it impossible.
I said
There's-
before we got promoted, we were not ready to go up.
There's a difference between not being ready and opening your rear end for people to just run through you like a train.
All I'm going to say is 7 years ago when Derby got relegated with that low 11,
They had more points.
they must have literally thought this will be like the thing we are remembered for the
Yeah,
rest
this
of
will
the
be the Hall of
No one
Famer.
is ever going to get less points than us.
Southampton like,
And that's-
hold my beer.
7 years
They'd
later.
obviously had enough of it.
Right, on my beer, lads. We're setting a new record.
Definitely setting a record.
We've got loads of records for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. You've that'll be a Guinness World Record as well, that will. You'll even be in the book for that. Southampton managed 6 points in 38 league games.
I'll be dead before that gets beaten again.
That won't get beaten ever. Not unless a team dies halfway through the season. I mean, that is ridiculous.
The thing is, it's not like we've even got minus points. Teams that get deducted points get more points than us.
What I didn't want to say, but yeah, that's
Just pointing
true.
that out there.
I'd like to say that I'd go so far as to say that not only will there not be another team getting relegated with whatever points total you're going to set this season, but there's not going to be another team in history that gets to a January with only 6. Something needs doing. And you held on
had
to your
6 as well, but we've scored. We've conceded. Our goal difference is a lot worse than theirs was.
How many have you conceded so far?
50.
Because I checked it up earlier. Sheffield United beat that 89 with 104.
Yeah.
104 conceded. Jesus wept.
And what did you say you've conceded?
50.
Oh, we're
We
halfway,
should be
we're halfway
okay.
there. I mean, that's still achievable.
Well, the 3 games past the
Well, it
halfway
is.
mark.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
still
achievable. Like I said,
It's
all it
achievable,
takes
like
is a
it's something they're
9-0.
actually aiming for. Go on, boys, you can do it.
I thought Spurs were going to do it. I'm so glad that they came out in the second half and decided, we're not going to play
Oh, you
football.
thought they'd
We're
be
Oh, the
gonna
9-0.
be- That could have been 10, 11.
Well, no, City are finding their feet again. I mean, that possibility is still there.
Have you still got to play City again?
Yeah.
You said that with so much enthusiasm. It's like they've just put 6 past Ipswich, and by the way, they're not as shit as you. So yeah,
I don't want to play anybody.
I just want to finish the season. We had a 22-game league, and it's done. Let's just go down to the Championship and hope we don't do a Luton. You're going to do a Luton. You know that, don't you?
No, I think we'll be all right. I think we've got a good Championship side.
I'd like your positive thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're employing.
I mean, they'll be
There's a shrink.
in the market for
But
a
they
new.
fucking- they're
I mean,
earning their money.
unfortunately, we need to sign a new goalkeeper because there's no way Ramsdale's
Yeah, I was going to say
staying
they need a
for
new
year in the
goalkeeper, a new
Championship.
centre back, and a new winger.
I'm not sure I want to talk about Ramsdale, if I'm honest, because it makes me sad.
No,
I reckon we should pick him up on the way up.
You're not helping with the sad. I'm still feeling sad about it.
Or he could go back to Bournemouth.
Still not helping, I'll be honest. I mean, they've got Kepa, who, won't come off for a penalty shootout.
Yeah, but Kepa's on loan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They
So Bournemouth will be in the market for a goalkeeper.
Well, they've got
David
Neto.
Raya, because he's shite.
Well, they've got Neto, haven't they? To go back.
Well, yeah, from us. Fucking hell. What a roundabout the keepers go on.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's just madness, isn't it?
Mm.
But I mean, I'm not happy with Arteta. I'm not happy with Raya. I'm not happy with the fact we've still got Zinchenko. I think the whole Gabriel Jesus thing.
What are you
at the
happy
beginning of the
with?
game- I'm happy with Saka, Odegaard, Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, which I didn't think I'd say because I wasn't a while ago.
You'll be happy with the women's team.
Women's team are doing all right.
5-0 today.
That's
We were
because you've
fine
got a
with
new
today.
manager. I like the way that I posted it in the group the other day. Arsenal get new head coach.
Yeah, I knew exactly what you were going on about, and
Yeah.
it did not make me happy.
No.
Not even a little bit. Just in
Yeah.
case you were wondering.
Yeah.
Didn't make me happy.
Because I put Arsenal get new coach with Rene, whatever.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
and put,
I'd quite happily
Arteta
do.
must be gone. You must be happy.
Yeah, no. I'd be happy with Rene Zellweger, the way fucking Arteta's managing is. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's just shocking, isn't it? How can... I'm not... I've had my rant. I'm not going to do it again.
Till
I've had a
next
rant.
week.
We'll go again next week. When we,
Zach said it well last week. It's just the... What is it? Guna fan bitch episode.
It just...
Weekly.
Well, we've got Dynamo Zagreb on Wednesday when Leeds play Norwich. That could be a good game. Leeds-Norwich. So, yeah, we've got Dynamo Zagreb on Wednesday.
Who we got in
I
Europe?
think we will probably win that, if I'm honest. Who have you got in Europe? You've
Nobody.
got an 18 to 30.
Speaking of that, what do we think of the Welsh teams going into the Welsh Cup?
I actually wanted to bring this up.
Well, let's go there then.
So,
Let's
did you
go
look
there.
into it like I asked you to, Stretch? Did you look into it?
That's a no.
I'm gonna get in
Okay.
in part 3. We're gonna do something a bit different, and I'll go into why I haven't done
Okay.
it and why we haven't played Who Am I in the second
Okay.
part.
So-
I'll
Okay.
explain. All
I
that later.
will.
But go into it for me. So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the part that's going to enrage everybody
Yeah.
before I get into why I actually think this is a good thing.
Okay.
So what they want to do is they want to set up the League Cup, the Welsh League Cup,
Yeah.
and incorporate the 4 teams that play in England.
Yeah.
The winner will go into the
Europa Conference.
Europa Conference.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I don't think it's fair because I think they get an advantage over all the teams in the English league.
How?
Because say Swansea or Cardiff, Wrexham or Newport going to win the Welsh League Cup?
Yes.
Probably, yes. So let's go Swansea, our mid-table championship team. We'll use Daryl's team for example. Our Blackburn got the same opportunity realistically to get into Europe.
Right.
As things currently stand.
Are they going to win Europe?
No.
So what difference does it make? I am leading to something.
Will it generate them more money?
Yes.
Revenue?
Yes.
Can it attract them better players?
So
hold on, if you're a championship team and you're playing in the Europa Conference, could you attract a better team saying that, we're in Europe this year, we can extend our squad because we've got a bit more money, we're going to push for promotion,
so you ready
next
for the
year you're playing Premier League.
Go on.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
They have stated that if whichever team goes through generates no money, all profits are to go to the Welsh FA in order to benefit and improve grassroots and women's football within Wales. So all they will be doing is playing extra games. If anything, that will weaken their side. That will weaken them. The reason they are doing it is to get better exposure. Because at the moment, all the Welsh League is on Welsh National TV. Unless you are in Wales, you can't watch the Welsh National League or League Cup. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get more exposure. I'm not going to say worldwide, but a wider exposure with their TV. And
I've got the perfect solution. Genuinely, I've got the perfect solution.
Put them back in Wales, yeah.
Put them back into fucking Wales because they don't belong in the English league anyway. You don't want Celtic and Rangers here. Not you specifically. Yeah. I'm not having to go at you specifically. But people don't want Rangers. Ow! I'm not sure what's just happened.
Oh, I just got fucking left.
The thing is, right, is we're not actually moving.
Yeah.
You look at us. We don't fucking move much anyway.
He's just been attacked.
But something's just fallen off my shelf, and he's been attacked. Here, I'll show it on camera.
The ball was
he's been attacked.
It's a fucking cookbook. Oh no!
All that.
Oh wow! Yeah, he's been attacked by my other sound card.
A cookbook.
A Coca-Cola cookbook. Don't diss my Coca-Cola.
I'm not gonna lie. That kind of fucking
and a vintage football.
I'm not surprised, you're right. Yeah. And a vintage football that fell on him.
So the ball hit my head, which I'm thankful for, and the unit hit my shoulder.
I'm quite thankful that the unit didn't hit your head. That
hit my shoulder.
I'll bet, yeah.
Never mind.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not moving. So there was no
week. But he set that up ready for it to fall.
I feel bad now because he sat in a different spot, and I went, "Oh, you're sitting there today." Now I feel like,
are you sitting there today?
If I'd sat in the chair, that'd have been my head. Definitely planned.
Sounds worse now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
brilliant.
But yeah, I don't. No,
send them back. People don't want Glasgow Rangers and Glasgow Celtic.
Okay.
In the Premier League, in the English Football League, so why the Welsh teams?
But then again, once again, you're reducing their exposure, and again,
because all these millions of people that follow Swansea and Cardiff and Wrexham, they'll be taking that over to the Welsh League. Then they will be more attractive.
The only club with that kind of reach is Wrexham, and the reason they have that reach has nothing to do
with football.
With Wrexham.
Now,
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, if they're not generating any income.
But I
just think that they could potentially still benefit from it, especially player-wise, going into Europe, if they're going to push to perhaps get promoted.
I'm going to argue again because, and good evidence of this.
We'll find out. Rewards from it.
No, but all good examples come from the likes of Leicester, Villa, Nottingham, Newcastle. Nottingham Forest will probably do it next year, and it is teams that go into Europe and don't have pre-built European squads struggle in the league the next season because they haven't got the players to play the extra games. So if anything, going into Europe, especially at the likes of Wrexham.
Well, can you imagine when they're playing 46 games a season instead of 38 as well?
That's my point.
Fucking
So
hell.
realistically,
What's
it's not.
Like, because in the Premier League, they're in Europe,
Yeah.
but they play 38 games.
Yeah.
When the Championship,
yeah.
you're playing 46. If you're in Europe on top of them 46.
So you're getting towards 50.
Yeah.
Although I
Odd.
suppose it's
Plus
because
the
the Premier
League
League
Cup.
teams, apart from fucking those managed by Mikel Arteta that hasn't got a clue, get further in the
Yeah.
cups than others.
Here we go, though. So, another one concept that brought up was like they feel like the League Cup and the FA Cup are like losing its appeal and stuff like that, so we
Bollocks.
say. And
It
they're
is
on
for
about
Arteta,
they
obviously.
should do a UK Cup. So the teams from Scotland and Ireland and Wales all
I'm not
enter
interested.
into one
No.
competition.
Whoever
as a
decided that
rebrand.
was a good idea is a moron. I don't mind it as a mid-season friendly to start the league off. You know, like before the Charity Shield, a week before the Charity Shield, we have like a mini tournament between. I'm all for that. That's fine. Top 2 in Scotland, top 2 in England, top 2 in Wales, top 2 in Ireland, all having a competition together. Happy days.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
As a friendly warm-up thing for the season, I
Yeah.
think that would be great.
Yeah.
But as an actual competition, not a chance.
Yeah, you don't want to let in every single team and
Well,
make
what
it
do you want
one
City
massive
winning that every year
competition.
as well? Do you know what I mean? It'd just be fucking boring.
Yeah.
It'd be boring. But as a friendly thing,
Yeah.
I think pre Charity Shield, because I'd even put the Charity Shield, Community Shield above
Here we
whatever
go.
that would
If
be.
they're going into the Welsh Cup, do them teams get kicked out?
This was
of
something.
the...
This was actually something that was raised, and they're looking at if it does happen, they would be removed from the English League Cup.
They should just be removed from English football because they're not English. They're Welsh
Does that
teams.
then become an asterisk competition like Man United did not enter till the 5th round because they were playing in the World Club for 1 year? Or is it like, Welsh teams no longer in the competition?
It will just be Welsh and no longer involved.
Yeah.
They won't
Yeah.
join at a later state. They just
No,
won't
they
be
just
involved in it
transfer
all.
over to that
They'll
one.
be gone.
But again, I'm not looking at it so much from the side of like where they're going to be. I'm
Where do
looking at
Liverpool stand? Because they're not part of England, apparently.
the Pacific
No, they're not in
swim
England.
team.
If you,
The Pacific swim team, hopefully.
but then, to be fair, if their fans were educated a little better, they'd probably realise that they are based in
Yeah.
England.
Yeah, well, but for me, the fact that they've said, yeah, we're happy to take these teams to Europe, but all the money has to go straight to grassroots. I'm really for that. I think it's a great idea and it's a great investment.
I think if they split it 50-50, it would be okay because then you're still giving the teams that go into Europe a chance to improve their squad as well as improving your grassroots. Taking all of it, I think, is a bit of a piss take. That's like going, well,
Yeah,
we're telling
'cause
you
then
you
they're
can't
losing their
compete.
money.
You can't compete in the League Cup, so you've lost that income.
Mm.
And then whatever you get there, we're
I mean,
taking off you.
It's only
I
profit.
don't
It's
think
only the
that's-
profit, so they'll still get like the gate receipts to pay the wages and stuff like that. So
I'm
they're not doing it
for
at a
it.
loss.
I'm not for it.
No.
You either have them back in Wales or leave them where they are. I don't see this pissing about. Stop arsing about with it. You either want them back. It's like breaking up with an ex and then just wanting, a record collection
I don't
instead.
think it is a case of
Weird.
wanting them
Just
back.
if you want them, have them. Yeah, it is though.
They want them back, but
Yeah,
I
but
don't
fucking
think
have
they
them then.
want to go back.
Take them lock, stock, and fucking smoking barrels. Fuck them off because I'm not interested in them being over here anyway. Can you imagine Swansea celebrating winning the EPL? Okay,
No, because I can't imagine them getting there.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Yeah, but we couldn't imagine that with Leicester in 2014.
What if they...
2 years later, they won the league. They were getting relegated in 2015. They only just
I mean, what
survived.
happens if, say, Swansea win that competition, go into Europa Conference, go all out for it, then
Just
they
happen
get
to
in,
get to
they
the
win it or
semi-final.
something,
I
and
don't
they're
know
guaranteed the Europa League at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And then that won't work
Why?
for the Welsh team because it's a different competition then.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
no,
point.
it wouldn't work for the
So
Welsh.
then they've
It
got
would-
an
It would work
advantage.
for Swansea.
It worked
Work for Swansea.
Yeah, but meanwhile they're getting fucking relegated because they put everything into the.
It's just wrong, innit? Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to break and then we'll come back for part 3. Hello and welcome to part 3. We're going to do things a little bit differently from now on because we've had a fair bit of communication from people, humans, human beings.
Humans.
that want to know a bit more about us. So because we sort of went off on a tangent the other week, not last week because it's when we had Zach, 2 weeks ago, and we went on to boxing.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is part 3 now. It's just going to be random shit. The first 2 are going to be all football, and then the last bit is going to be all completely random shit. Okay. Now, this does not mean that you have to go completely personal about your life. If you want to, great. Yeah. If you don't. But let's learn more about, I mean, we fucking know everything about each other, but let's, the people that listen learn more about us, what we do, what we like, what we don't like, what we're going through. And I will explain that the reason, right, I'll start it off. The reason we've got no Who Am I this week, and the reason it's all a bit slapdash when you got here today, is because my other half has decided that because my cousin, who by the way has got a lot of nice stuff, was changing his kitchen. So his old kitchen, which they took out, he was offering on Facebook. Yeah. My other half saw it and she's like, we need another kitchen, because we do, because our kitchen was knackered. We'll have it. Now what she didn't think is their kitchen is a completely different size and shape to the kitchen we've got. She just thought, we'll get that kitchen, put it in there. She doesn't realise it doesn't work like that. So now I'm struggling to get stuff manipulated to try and fit it into a kitchen where it doesn't belong. I've been so fucking busy this week, and I'm still like probably 10% done.
That's very generous.
Yeah.
Well, I've ripped half the kitchen out. There's your 8%.
That was the easy part.
And then fitting it, I've done 2% of. There's me 10%.
Wait, you've actually fit something?
Yeah, but apparently that's not properly working now, so I'm going to have to go back and try and fix that before work tonight. And by the way, it is now 7 o'clock and my alarm's set for 10. So we've got to finish this, then I've got to go and sort the kitchen, then I've got to basically go straight to work.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun, yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's why I haven't done anything, because I've been busy as fuck.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of hours this week as well. Because I thought, well, I'll start at 11 at night, midnight. I'll be done by 10, 11 in the morning. Come back, get a couple of hours in the kitchen. Go get my little one from school. No. I've been starting at midnight, finishing 2 in the afternoon. I've been getting back, going straight to get my little one from school. I haven't been able to do anything in the kitchen at all. It's been a fucking nightmare that last week. Been so busy. So busy. And I haven't...
It'll only be getting worse, because the longer that the kitchen is not being done...
That house is now... Honestly, there's people that live in caves that are more organised than what that house currently is. It's a fucking shambles at the minute.
The longer you take to do it, the more grief you're going to get.
Yeah.
And it's your fault.
Apparently so.
Apparently so.
I'm not going to say yes, because obviously it isn't, but apparently so.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's why I am completely disorganised this week. I didn't actually shower until you'd already got here, because I was just fucking too busy.
Your Ring doorbell gives out a little Anton Deck thing, which I thought was quite funny.
I've got Anton Deck on mine.
That is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard of in my life.
It was like...
They both pipe up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There's nobody in at the minute where clearly there was people in.
Yeah. Especially while I'm stood out there freezing my fucking tits off.
It's because he's built like a twiglet.
Right?
The only reason he's moaning about being cold, right? If he was built like me and him, he'd be all right. He wouldn't whinge as much. But he's built like a twiglet. Okay.
You just got to put on layers.
Go back a couple of weeks. He was on a Santa, a very shit skinny Santa, but a Santa nevertheless. So we're trying to lose weight to keep up with him, and all he does is bitch about being cold. And honestly, I'm starting to fucking change my mind. I might just stay fat and warm.
Though it's all right. Though it's all right at the moment, because obviously when we started doing stuff, I was 16 stone 9. I'm now at 14 stone.
I don't know how much detail you want to go into
ladies
about
and gentlemen,
why you've done
dieting tips by Jim Jam. Stress. Brilliant.
Stress.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't fucking recommend that in any way, shape or form, because I don't think it's a healthy way to go about it.
That's a good point. Do you think now that I've got a nice new job coming in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time I'm just going to start becoming a right fat fuck?
No, because what I'm hoping is there's going to be a lot to that job that you don't know about, and you're going to be more stressed than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Just for my entertainment, really.
So what do I go with? Because I'm not going to go into many details at all, because that's not fair to put out into public, but the ins and outs of
I'm going to on my life, and I'm going to warn you now that I already foresee a point in the future where I'm not going to give a fuck, and I will sit here and spill everything.
Yeah.
Just not going to be right now.
Yeah.
Because I can see the rock and I can see the hard place.
Yeah.
And I don't want them closing.
Yeah.
But I can see a point not too distant from now.
So I disappeared from the pod for a good number of weeks recently and everything. So ultimately, the ins and outs of it was the fact that I've been married for nearly 12 years. I won't be for much longer.
I know. Congratulations on that one.
Through the painful process of divorce and costs and stress and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so that's what was going on with me, and really struggling. And as things go, I found that when you're in the house lonely and stuff like that a podcast can be very helpful to ease things, because people are talking and because you're listening, it kind of makes you feel like you're involved.
I think as well is when we're going to do more stuff like this and you're learning about somebody, you sort of feel part of it. You feel part of them and part of their life. And I'll explain why, because being a truck driver, I'm on my own a lot.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't fucking change for the world, because people are the worst. Not, obviously, people that listen to this are amazing. Other people are the fucking worst, and I can't be doing with other human beings, right? I consider myself quite sociable as well, and I'm still a twat. But when I'm driving down the road, I listen to a podcast called Shagged, Married, Annoyed.
Yeah.
And it's Chris Ramsey and his wife, Rosie.
Oh, yeah.
The comedian Chris Ramsey. And they're absolutely fucking brilliant. But they properly talk about details of their life. Intimate details of their life. So, like, by the time I've now listened to 260 episodes or whatever it is, you feel like you know them inside and out. Because they hide nothing. There's not a fucking thing between them two that you don't know about. Because they've literally come out on a couple of them and go, this is the third time we've recorded this episode because she won't stop fucking having a go at me. And she's there going, because he's a prick, we keep fucking arguing. And they'll tell you everything. They'll tell you why they're arguing, what they've argued about, the details of it. You know everything. So I do think that, going back to what you said about being lonely, okay, I'm not lonely as a trucker, but it's still nice to have that in the background. Hence the reason why I listen to audiobooks and stuff like that. Again, don't have many. Yeah. I have some close-knit friends because they're not annoying people.
And a lot of associates.
But again, they're people that you do things with. Like, that sounded way dirtier than it sounded in my head. I'm on about football or for you, badminton or whatever it is you want to do. You know, I'm not meeting whores, but, you know, not always. That was a joke, by the way. But yeah, it's nice to sort of learn about somebody. Certainly somebody, if you listen to them a lot, like whoever it is in, what is it, Singapore that's listening to us every goddamn week.
Yeah.
Like, they're now going to start learning a bit more about us from this part of the pod.
Yeah.
So if they are lonely, or if there's not a lot going on over there, you can contact us, by the way. Anybody that wants to get in touch, it's Sundaypundits@gmail.com. We'll have emails and we'll interact with people that are listening.
On that note, shall we do an episode in the near future with like an FAQ? People send us their questions in and we answer them on.
Yeah, I mean, if there's enough people that are going to send questions in.
Well, if we get 10 questions.
If we get 10, we're all right. If we get one, it's going to be a pretty short episode.
Be a bit boring, isn't it?
Well, even if we just do it in the segment, the third segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, we'll put it out there. So it's Sundaypundits@gmail.com, and if you've got any questions or if you want to know anything about us, and we will be as honest as we possibly can.
We'll try to.
Oh no, I'll just be as honest as I can. Just fuck it.
Yeah. Just at the moment, don't ask me the ins and outs on why I'm getting divorced and stuff like that.
As you're currently going through the divorce, it's probably best from a legal standpoint not to mention too many.
So we can't mention the bear, the goat, and the corn on the cob. We can't mention
definitely not the corn on the cob.
Okay.
I think the Bear's stretching it a little. Well, apparently, it's stretching it a little bit as well. From what
But no.
So his divorce has nothing to do with a bear, a goat, or a corn on the cob.
No.
Definitely not the corn.
No, definitely not the corn on the cob.
But
No.
I have good days, I have bad days. Still, at the moment, you know.
And you know what? There could be potentially someone out there listening to this thinking, fuck me, I'm not the only one. There's somebody else going through it as well. And they'd have had no
Or
clue from you. Just
Somebody
saying
could be
talking
looking
football.
at this going,
Thank God my life ain't that shit.
oh, he's getting divorced. He looks good. Or, fuck me, he looks terrible. I need to stay away from him now.
Or, yeah, I can see why.
So you
Probably more the
realise
latter.
that this is mainly a football podcast.
Not
So,
anymore.
there's
We've just established it's not.
No, mainly. Still the first two parts. So most of it's going to be football only.
Yeah.
The amount of women listening is probably going to be somewhat restricted. So you're expecting
now.
a bloke to be watching this going, oh, he's single.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
So you need to broaden your horizons
Yeah.
if you're going to out yourself as available on a basically male podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's
Just
all.
saying.
I'm just saying. So,
Maybe
I
that-
mean,
maybe that
if
was
I
the
get any
plan all
emails,
along.
I will forward them to you.
Sorry, I am not a member of the alphabet community,
Well,
and
yet. That just means he's yet to be converted.
Yeah, exactly.
All gay people know that means you just haven't been converted yet.
Yeah. You haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
yeah.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I believe so.
I could quite happily die without trying.
Well, if you've upset someone out there enough, you might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have a target on me back.
Is there anything you want to share about your personal business?
So went into the end of last year pretty much in a job that paid well but didn't want to do it.
You were working some shite shifts as
yeah,
well, by
so
the way.
without saying too much, I was kind of in a position where I didn't really want to be there anymore. I was having a shit time. I was single 3.5 years. Things were pretty down, and I was mildly
Is
depressed.
it really 3.5 years?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So
Shit, I
to
didn't
say that
think it
depression
that
was kind of kicking in definitely is absolute honest truth. Over the Christmas period, leading into New Year, I got 2 job interviews, and I had sort of been seeing someone for a little while, but things were starting to get a little bit more serious. And within a week of the New Year, I had been offered a job from one of the 2. I cancelled the interview for the second one because I'd already been offered the job.
Was that the one that you'd rather out the 2 of them?
The irony being, my original first choice was the one that I should have had the interview for yesterday. But you know when they say like the whole, when you're in an interview, you're also interviewing them.
Yeah.
It's not a one-way system. And I was quite fortunate that I was literally being interviewed by who would be my direct boss and his boss. So it was like I was getting to meet my management team. So I managed to sort of find that I was on a nice level ground. I liked the atmosphere. I got the right vibes. All the words were right.
Felt right.
So when they pretty much offered me the job pretty much shortly after, they just asked me to wait 10 minutes. Then it was like they offered me the job, and they knew I had another interview, but in that moment, I just knew that was the right move for me. So
Did they ask you to not go on an interview?
Not at all. So the reason
We've had that
I don't
before.
think they would
So
do
these
that.
jobs
No, people have done that before.
Yeah.
They've gone for job interviews and they say, we will give you this job, but you have to
No.
not
So
cancel all
the
other
reason
interviews.
they asked me to wait 10 minutes was that they knew I had this other job. This is all internal vacancies. And they said, you are the last person we're interviewing. If you wait 10 minutes, we'll have our conversation. We'll make our decision. Once that decision is made, come back in. Then depending on how you've gone,
You'll get your answer today.
you'll get your answer today.
Okay.
But we will give you feedback on your interview for your next interview.
Fair comment.
So I was like, fantastic. So if I'm waiting around 10 minutes and they turn around and go, sorry, we're not going to offer you the job, but if you do this in your interview, blah, 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 change this, it might help you. And I just thought, you know what, that is a great mentality and I'm well up for it. Walked back in and they offered it me there. And it was the right job. It was the right moment. So in 2 weeks' time, I start my new job. 2 weeks tomorrow. So I've got 2 weeks left of my current job. I move into a new job.
I hope they give you hell for the next 2 weeks.
In
Same company though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all internal. And then 2 weeks ago, the woman who I'd been sort of seeing, we decided to pretty much just make it official and go for it properly. So, yeah.
So you've bought the right drugs this time then to feed her?
Yes, I've managed
cool.
to find the right drugs.
Cool. I would like to mention something, actually.
Yes.
In the spirit of sharing. You mentioned when you were initially talking about being single 3.5 years that depression was a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you reach out? You've got 2 people here that would listen.
That's a really good question, and it is something that for years and years and years, you always, if you, now don't take me wrong, I've never been suicidal, so I don't want people thinking for any second I was suicidal. However, it's really weird because when I was having a really hard time at work and I was getting fucked over left, right and centre and things, false promises and all that, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get into a different branch, different part of the business. And it's like, when you go through this shit, I'm not a good talker. I'm a great listener. I'm not a good talker. And I suppose in a way, even though it's a man thing, it's definitely a man thing. It's not something that, how many men honestly can say that they find it easy to reach out and talk?
Okay, I'm going to change that for the people listening because we don't know what age group they're from.
Yeah.
How many men from the 80s, born in the 80s, find it easy to talk about their emotions? Like, kids, like 18, 20-year-old kids now, probably will talk about their feelings all day long. We're from a different generation. Before the internet, before mobile phones, before consoles to a certain extent. There was no PlayStation, there was no Xbox or any of that shit when we were first growing up. We were out in the streets till 11 at night. Like, we didn't come back till we were dragged in.
Yeah.
There was none of this worrying about people picking you up. Like, the whole mentality and attitude years ago was completely different. And we were taught by our parents. I mean, my dad was a copper. Yeah. Like, I could not show fucking any form of weakness or upset, or he'd go mental.
Yeah.
Like, I had a rabbit once that died. Right? I got dead upset about it. He was fucking livid. He's like, it's a rabbit. It's a rabbit. What's wrong with you? It's a rabbit. Grow up. So we had it drilled into us as younger that you just, men do not have emotions.
You get on with it.
You just keep going.
Stiff upper lip and all that.
So we are from that sort of, we're from that era, and we are from that sort of that time where we were told that we protect women, we work, we build, we repair, we keep together. And that's all we do as men.
Yep.
But like, I like to think I've had a bit of a mentality change over the years, because the first thing I said to you when you mentioned, Jim Jam, that you were going to go through a divorce, I tell him now every day, I tell him what shift I'm on the next day. Because I work nights, it's great, so I can say to him, if you can't sleep tonight, you can call me. Because I'm up, like tonight, I'm up at 10, if I fucking go to sleep at all. I'm up at 10. So from 10, you can call me. And I'm there and I'm available. But do not fucking sit there and worry about shit and panic about shit on your own. Mm-hmm. Even if you just need to ring me to shout, cry, scream, I don't give a fuck. Just ring me and do it. Just say, I just need to sit with somebody on the other end of the phone. You don't even have to say anything. Do you know what I mean? It's just, if you need that person there, even if we don't have to say anything, fine, just ring me and I'm on the end of the phone. Mm-hmm. And I'll make that crystal clear. And that's what bothers me, is probably the wrong way of putting it, but that's what gets to me, that you didn't open up a little bit more.
Yeah,
because I'd have done the same. I said, if you can't sleep, just fucking phone me.
It's not that easy to call people.
I find it really hard.
It's really difficult. Like, sometimes you're just on your own and you're just like, there's nothing you can do to stop it and stuff. Like,
but you can be there. Okay, you're on the phone, but your voice is still there. Yeah. You're still there. To a certain extent,
though, it's like sometimes you're depressed for a reason, or you're lonely, or
of course
whatever.
You are.
And you think to yourself, God, how pathetic you been, or like how stupid you been, and you just sort of, in my case, I knew I'm all right with it, so I just sort of I just took it in my stride. But you do get those moments. You do get that sort of, nothing's going your way, you feel shit. But ultimately, I'm fine now. But it was like we were having a conversation, and I actually said, I kind of get, because it's like, to get anywhere these days, you have to go and see a doctor to tell them you have a problem. It's like, why?
Yeah, that's weird to me.
This is the problem. But this is the problem. In order to get anyone to take you fucking seriously, you have to go to a doctor.
Yeah, but the problem is they just pump you full of pills all the time.
Correct. So when people are going, if you are stressed or if there's a problem and you're depressed, go see a doctor. Don't want to go see a doctor. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people. And then it's like you think to yourself, you know what, I will. But then you feel like you're stupid and you're wasting people's time and you're wasting the NHS's time and all this. And then it was at this moment I thought, you know what? I've even said, and I've said this, I don't get why people kill themselves. I don't get it. But you know what? It was that one day when I was having a conversation with someone and they said about going to see a doctor. And I thought to myself, yeah, I really should. And then on my way home, I'm like, why would I go see a fucking doctor? I'm just wasting time. Getting an appointment's a fucking nightmare. Getting in's a nightmare. Doing anything to do with the doctor is an absolute nightmare. I'm just not going to waste my time. And it was at that moment I thought, I know why people kill themselves. Because they don't have... It's so hard to reach out. It's so hard to force yourself. When you are in that position, you hear, oh, there's this phone line and this phone line. But ultimately, with the people that need to help you, the people who need to sign you off from work and stuff, they're so hard to get hold of. And 9 times out of 10, they're so busy trying to get you back out because they've got the next 10,000 customers. We don't get the care we want. So it becomes a point of, well, what's fucking done? When I broke my foot in December, I didn't get it seen to for 2 months. Because it was so, it got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm in that much pain and having that much problems, I've got to have it seen to. But the fact of the matter was, prior to it, I was like, it ain't that bad. I can live with it. It's just not worth sitting in A&E for 8 fucking hours for.
I was the same years ago. I think I was 29. I'm 43 now. And I had a knee injury playing football. I'm like, I'll be all right. It'll sort itself out. And I remember I was at Bibby working with you
I was going to say you...
And I was hobbling around the warehouse. I'm like, I'll be all right, be all right. Fuck it was not getting any better. And I'm like, oh, this... And it was about 6 weeks. And I went to the doctor, and they scanned it, and they went, yeah, you've torn your ACL. There's no way that's repairing on its own. You need an operation. I'm like, oh, just wasted 6 weeks then.
Yeah.
But it's just, like you say, you think... The second I think, ring the doctor, I'm like, can't be asked. There's no point. There's no point.
And this is where I had that moment of, I'm not saying I completely understand, and I do sympathise with anyone who is ever in that position, but I now understand why people get to the point where it's like, fuck it, it's just easier to kill myself.
Okay, now, we have very different opinions on suicide, and I will explain why. Obviously, you've got a slightly more sympathetic viewpoint than I have.
Until that moment when I had that realisation, I didn't.
Because 3.5 years ago, I was driving down the M5.
Yes, I remember you saying,
southbound.
Yeah.
And I got held up. That morning, I got held up because my cousin was in the yard. Now, my cousin leaves before me. He starts late, like early at night, if you like, for me. So he'll start work at 9 o'clock at night, and I'm not normally until 11, 12. And he was in the yard. Naturally, I stopped what I was doing, went over. I'm like, what are you doing here? This is weird. I'm not used to seeing you here. Had a bit of a chat with him. A minute and a half, maybe. Wasn't a lot. Got my truck, carried on down the road. So I'm now about a minute behind the truck that's in front of me on the M5. Driving down southbound, I watched somebody jump off a bridge into the truck that was in front of me. Now, had I not seen Jay that morning at the yard, that would have been my truck. But even so, I then had to, because I couldn't just stop, I then drove through the aftermath of what had happened. So I'm a lot less sympathetic towards suicide, because I was going to word it really wrong then, so I'm going to try think about what I'm saying.
I'm going to jump in where you are, because I know what you're about to say. So, one, it's a very selfish thing to do. It doesn't just... For you, it's over. That's it. You've got your family. You've got everybody who what events took place in order to do you've traumatised people. You've upset your family, your friends, and everyone's upset. And I agree, but that moment of clarity for me, you do think that no one is going to miss you. You do actually honestly believe that no one gives a shit. And I
get that.
And you genuinely do think everything is better off without me. So,
and I get that.
There is a slight... it's weird, because I agree that it is, from your perspective, and I'm not saying I totally sympathise with them.
My point is, if you're gonna, I don't think anybody should.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna, do it in such a way that the only people that are going to find you are trained professionals.
Yeah.
not an innocent truck driver doing his fucking job at 2 o'clock in the morning, driving down the M5, heading for Bristol.
Yeah.
Because that guy was arrested that day.
Yeah.
He was arrested and he was locked up. And from what I could work out from the bits that I learned, because like the first thing I saw when I pulled over to talk to this guy, I was desperately trying not to look at the front of his truck, but he was out of his truck.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just hurling over the side of the barrier. He was a mess. That guy was he will never, ever, ever recover from that.
Nope.
I won't ever forget it, and it wasn't my truck. I was just behind it. That guy is done now forever. He will never, ever get over that. And that's what I think of when I think of suicide.
Yeah.
So as soon as somebody says suicide, I don't think pills, slicing the wrists, doing this. I see that person jump off that bridge every time I hear that word. So I go to selfish prick. I get that people can feel like I felt low. I fought for 9 years in court to see my eldest, who's now been on the podcast, Zach. He's been on the podcast a few times, Zach has. Yeah, I was 9 years without seeing that kid because his mum kept me away. 9 years in and out of court, and I felt low as fuck. I've never felt so low. And women can do it like this, and it fucking drives me mad.
Yeah.
But I never thought of going that far. The thought, like you, the thought of, I understand why guys do this, crossed my mind.
Yeah.
The thought of actually doing it didn't. But I did sit there. I still sit there now when things happen. And I think, I can understand why blokes do it. I completely understand it. Because the pressure and the stress and the financial obligation that is thrown at you day after day after day after day after day, and all the lies that you have to deal with. You're aggressive. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're the other. Or you're an evil person, you're this and you're that. And you feel like you're just constantly defending yourself to everybody, and it's costing you a fortune to do it, and you're still not getting what you want, which is just seeing your child at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? So I did get to the same point as you, Tim, where I thought, I can understand why guys do this.
Yeah.
But I never personally got to that point. But I also, as much as I understand why people get to that point, I don't think you should bring innocent people into your trauma. Like, if you're fighting demons and you don't feel like you can tell a friend, I mean, firstly, you need better friends. You need people around that you can confide in and that you can trust. If I struggle, like, I'll be honest, there's fuck all about my life that you two don't know.
No.
Because I've told you everything. Even shit that I probably should have kept to myself. But I've still told you both.
Yeah.
Because I trust you and I confide in you. Because I want you to do the same.
I think it's
I don't want you two to struggle and to suffer.
No, it doesn't matter even if you've got a support network. You can still have the thoughts and everything.
Of course you can, but there's somebody there for you during them times. You know you can call me. Because you know I'm going to be awake. You know you're not bothering me. I'm on the fucking road
Sometimes
driving.
it doesn't matter. Sometimes
You still wouldn't ring?
knowing...
Sometimes. Not
Sometimes knowing you can just put yourself completely down, and even though you know people are there, sometimes it's just not enough.
That's really hard to hear. Because... partly because I can't put myself in that position, and partly because
I felt there.
No, but this is what I'm saying is I can't put myself there because I haven't. I've been low.
And even though I've got loads of people that say talk to me and do that sort of stuff, and sometimes your mind can just, even though you're like,
that's
it's
a scary
not
fucking
there,
thing. That is.
even though you know the people are there.
That's what makes it scariest.
That's frightening.
And sometimes it's just not enough.
The
Like, I've gone for a walk and I've sat there thinking, you know what, I could just jump in a canal and just end it right now, or I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna jump on a train and disappear, like not kill myself, but I'm just gonna disappear so nobody knows where I am.
So, quick question for you,
and stuff.
Obviously, I know how I felt in certain aspects, but do you have it where did you? Even now, or have had, where you are that low that you sort of just sit there and you think, I do want to tell someone, but I don't know how. I don't know what words I could use.
Maybe because I don't know what I could say that's going to even make it feel better.
Yeah, because that's the issue you have. You feel low as fuck, and then it's like, maybe I should tell someone, and say, for example, let's use Stretch, because we all know that we could have spoke to Stretch. So then it's like, you go to ring him, but then you think, how do I say this? And then in your head you're going, I'm going to look so fucking pathetic and weak as fuck. And as stupid as it sounds, that does deter you. Because you just don't want
of course, but if
you
you're gonna be vulnerable, weak, pathetic, be that with us. Because we don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know that.
We don't care. I don't care. If you ring me up, I'm not saying you're going to, right? But if you ring me up later tonight and you just say, I just need to cry, but I need somebody there, I wouldn't have a fucking problem with that at all. I'm not saying you're going to, but that wouldn't bother me. I'd stay on the phone with you.
Do me a favour, Jim. If you want to cry tonight, please don't fucking ring me.
It's particularly...
I'll be
awake.
Say, I mean,
I'll be awake, so...
It's like, right now, talking about it now, it's brought it right back down.
Of course it has.
But that's...
Because it is raw
yeah.
at the moment.
And that's the thing, it's because it's just started.
But
you're at the beginning of this shit. This isn't something that's in your recent past. It's now. It's just
I'm
beginning.
living it.
And you know what, though? This is a really good point to talk about, because there are people who are listening, like you said, probably in a similar situation. So by telling them things like, talk to people.
Yeah.
It is good. I'm not saying that me not talking to people was a good thing, because I will tell you now, it was not.
Well, no.
I've just been fortunate that...
And here's the thing as well, is you've just heard me say, him not reaching out and talking to us has now bothered me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, what am I doing wrong?
And
Why
you're not
do you
doing
not feel
anything
like...
wrong.
Yeah, but this is the thing, is your friends, you like the people that are listening to this, that you're not reaching out to people because you think you're going to bother them. They're then going to sit there and think, well, what am I doing wrong that you don't feel like you can contact me? So everybody gets affected by this.
Yep, absolutely.
And the easiest answer is just reach out. Reach out to somebody. Just talk. Because I don't give a shit whether you've got nothing to say.
Where, like I said, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you just don't want to reach out because reaching out and talking about it just isn't enough.
Talk about something else. Try and take your mind off it. Ring me up and talk about your 6 points.
Yeah.
You know? Ring me up and talk about the fact that you've stubbed your toe or broke
I'm trying
your foot,
to
or
not
whatever it is
be,
you decide to do.
I'm trying to not be on my own at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. But on them moments where, because like we're all on our own. I mean, I've been with my woman for fucking over 8 years, but there's still moments where I'm on my own a lot. And I don't just mean work. I mean at home as well.
Sometimes being married, all you want is to be
on your own for
on
an
your
hour.
own for a little bit.
Give me an hour where I could just sit and do nothing. Yeah, but like it's
or
all...
you could or you joke and you say, could just do with being single and stuff like that, so I can do this, and this. But
I may have made that joke the other day, which did not go down well, by the way. It did not go down well at all. But yeah, if you are suffering and you're worried about reaching out to a friend, your friend is later on down the line going to think, where have I gone wrong that you didn't feel like you could reach out to me because you were suffering? Because like, I am one of them people that I will never say to somebody, well, contact me if I'm like, oh, fucking hell, they're ringing again. It's like, I'll say to you, contact me because I mean it. Like, because it's like with you, I've missed a couple of your calls, but the second I get my phone in my hand, I'll ring you back. So I could be unloading or I could be doing something different, but as soon as I see your name, missed call, I'll give you a ring back. I'm like, what's the matter? I didn't ring you back tonight because you stood at my fucking doorstep and I knew you were coming in. But yeah, it's everybody gets affected by it. It isn't just you. You're not the only one suffering because your mates... I mean, obviously I knew you were low, but I didn't realise you'd gone to that degree. I knew you weren't happy, should I say. Not low. I knew you weren't happy. Yeah. But I had no idea what extent it was to. You know, so you might be able to hide it well like tin ribs, or you might be a little bit more open like Jim Jam, but still sit on your own and just don't do it because your mates want to hear from you.
But they actually point out that people who are suffering from severe depression tend to hide it well. And they've used famous people like Chester Bennington. The last few photos of him alive, he's there smiling and laughing with his family. You had Robin Williams, always seen as a happy person, really happy, and then they found him dead. And it's just like, people hide things, and it is scary. But
It's very
well,
easy to
they
hide.
reckon comedy comes from a dark place anyway, don't they? Most comedy comes from a dark place because you're trying to project something, and they reckon the funnier the person is, the darker your mind is, because you're trying so hard to dig your way out of this hole. Like Lee Evans, for example.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious, but he reckons it comes from a seriously twisted, dark space inside his head where he worries about stuff.
He's a proper warrior.
I was going to say I've read his book, then, but that would be a lie because I don't read
Listen
fuck
to
all. I've listened to his book,
I have as well.
which he reads
Brilliant.
himself actually
Brilliant.
online, and it's superb, and it properly gives you an insight. And you're like, fuck, I didn't know any of that shit about Lee Evans. It's crazy, some of the shit he's been through. So if you are listening and you are suffering, please reach out to someone, because somebody cares. And if you've got something embarrassing that you don't want to talk to somebody that you know, reach out to us. Send us an email, tell us about it. We'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Absolutely.
If you've got someone, like, if they specifically want to talk to you because of what you've been talking about, just put it in the email. Want to talk to Jim Jam about this? I'll forward it on to you, and then you'll get back to them. Or you as well.
Same. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, with being depressed because you were single for so long and struggling and not sure what was going on and where you were going in life and what have you. So if there's somebody struggling with that, you want to talk to Tin Ribs and see if he can help you out, just put want to talk to Tin Ribs on the email. Sundaypundits@gmail.com. I think what we're going to do is we are going to call it a day now because it is 7:30.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've still got to try and fix that kitchen and I'm up at 10 o'clock. So I'm not sure I'm going to get any sleep tonight. But I quite enjoyed that third part today. It's good. I think more of that will be good. Open people's eyes and help people realise that they're not alone.
Didn't really enjoy it.
I can imagine you probably didn't actually. Yeah, that was probably a little bit harsh on you. Well, ring me.
Yeah.
That's
ring
it.
me.
And me.
Not tonight. I'm tired. Can't be doing with it. But
Not tonight. I'm gaming.
I spent the day here.
But yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we shall see you, wonderful, wonderful people, next week.